Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about Nclex. A lot of you guys have been asking me, how did you take Nclex 3 weeks after you finish school? And today I'm going to tell you how. Alright, so let me take it back to my last two sessions in my nursing program, which were collab and capstone. So those two classes were pretty much a review of the last 2 years of nursing school. Collab was really focused on reviewing every single specialty that we did. Capstone was pretty much also a review of every specialty, but it was a little more intense, actually a lot more intense. We technically had to take an exam each week of every specialty. It's gonna be a little hard to explain, especially if your program is not like my program, but technically our school uses ATI to pretty much prepare all their students for Nclex. And so once you start your last session, which is capstone, they assign you to a coach from ATI, which you have to pretty much keep in touch every single week. So you technically have to take an exam for each specialty. You can take it whenever. Some students were taking 2 exams a week, but the catch here was that you had to pass with a 60%. And I know a 60% sounds so low, you're like, anybody can pass that, but ATI is so hard that it's technically a 76 in the real world, which I know it's really hard to comprehend if you're not in nursing school, but trust me when I tell you, like, getting a 60% is a big deal. But yeah, ATI is a lot harder. Let me give you guys an example of kind of how it worked. So let's say week 1, you had to do all the pre-work for fundamentals, right? So once you were done with your pre-work, you had to send a message to your coach and be like, I'm done with all my pre-work. Can you approve me to take my exam? And then the coach would send an approved message that you would show your teacher, like, hey, my coach approved me to sit down for the exam. So then you were able to sit for the exam, and if you hit benchmark, then you were good. You were able to take the following exam, which was med-surg. Now, whether you pass the exam or not, your coach will always give you some sort of work, kind of to review the points that you missed or to highlight things that you were not really doing well in the exam. And at first I was like, oh my god, this is so much. Not only do we have to do pre-work, but we have to take the exam, make sure we pass in order to move on to the next level, but we still have to do post work because, you know, you're not gonna get 100%, so there was always something to review after an exam. I'm telling you, capstone was really stressful. So then after you, let's say you're done with that module, which was fundamentals, then you will move on to, let's say, med-surg. And then again, you will have to do pre-work, get approved by your coach to sit down for the exam, and then take the exam, make sure you pass with the benchmark, and then do some post work. And you had to turn everything to your coach, and your coach was technically the one that was approving you to continue on to the next exam. I never failed an exam, thank God. I was able to move on easily every single time. I started very scared. I was very, hesitant because, like I said, ATI is really hard. If you think nursing exams are hard, you take an ATI exam and it will literally make you feel like you're dumb because they are just hard. And anybody that has taken ATI will tell you how hard those exams are. So, like I said, you didn't have to take the exams at a specific day or time. You could literally, actually you had to take them during your class time, but you could literally do 2 in 1 week or move at your own pace. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there was a time that in order to sit down for the AA3, which is the exit exam, you had to finish all the modules, every specialty by a certain time. And if you finished before that, then you were able to sit a week before for the exit exam, which I did. So instead of taking my exit exam on week 7th, I took it on week 6, which I was really proud of because I worked my ass off for 6 weeks, passing every module, working on pre-work, working on post-work, and just making sure that I was, learning. So now you're probably asking, why are you bringing this up? What does this have to do with Nclex? The biggest thing that I can tell you right now. So for me, when I first started capstone and even collab, I feel like collab, I didn't take it as serious. It was a great review, but I feel like I was just trying to get through the work so I can, like, I don't know, like be over with that class so I can move on to capstone and then essentially study for, you know, for Nclex for a month or so. I don't know. I think I had planned in my mind that I was gonna study for a month or two to take the Nclex. That was my plan, right? But then I was like, when I started capstone, I saw the structure of the class and I realized that they were setting us for success. This class was really structured to make you review every single thing that you needed to review for Nclex. And not only that, but anytime you were struggling with something, your coach would make sure that you were reviewing on that. Your coach really is there to guide you and to make sure that you are not just passing every exam, but you're getting the most out of it. So once I realized how structured and how well this class was put together, that's when I realized, man, I should really take advantage of this. Like, I should not just go through the class like trying to get, you know, this class over with, but I should take this as my time to study for Nclex. And I did. So what I did was I got a notebook for my last class, and every time I had something that I was really struggling with, medications or just like anything, I would literally write it in here. This was gonna be the thing that once I finish school, once I passed my exit exam, this was gonna be my Bible. This was gonna be the thing that I look back on and I was just going to study from for Nclex. And I also divided everything into different sections. You guys know I'm a pretty organized person when it comes to things like this, and I just feel like that helps me focus a lot better and learn. I feel like an organized environment makes me learn better, and so I make sure I divided everything. By the way, my dog got to it. Let me just show you guys an example of like how I did my notebook. So let's say if I was struggling with acid base or ventilators, I would write it down and then write like a bunch of notes on it, like things that I was struggling with. Let's say if I was struggling with like the alarms when a person has a ventilator, high pressure alarms or low pressure alarms, because there's a lot of details that sometimes you forget. Those are the details that are like so not white or black, they're kind of in the gray area that you really have to like learn and memorize. So then I would write ventilators, and then I would write facts about high pressure alarms, and then I would write other facts about low pressure alarms. This notebook is literally everything in nursing school that was in the gray area, things that were simple, like simple things like how to hold a cane when a person has a left broken knee, or how to get up from a chair when a person is using crutches. Just little things like that. Sometimes that the things that you don't really pay attention to, or that are just, like I said, in a gray area, all those little facts were in this notebook. And I promise you that helped me so much, because I'm the type of person that likes writing things down. I've told you guys before how much I like writing in color because it helps me memorize things. Also, drawing things makes me memorize things. Like when I was learning the cranial nerves, it was really helpful to use numbers where the cranial nerve affects the face. I will post a picture right here of what I'm talking about. A bunch of nursing students do that because it's very helpful. So this notebook, like I said, is everything that I've needed to learn a little more, and just little facts that I missed during capstone. Another book that helped, but to be completely honest, I'm not gonna make you guys buy it because I didn't use it as much. I probably got through, I don't know, like one chapter of it. So I don't want to say and make you guys buy it if I didn't really feel like it made me pass Nclex, you know what I mean? But a lot of people use it and think it's really helpful. And the book is the Comprehensive Nclex RN Review. And also this book is by ATI. So I feel like, I don't know, like I have like mixed feelings about this book. I feel like it has great concepts. I think it's a great book to use for capstone, because like I said, capstone and collab are very much so a review of everything you've learned for the past 2 years. I think if I would have put more attention to it and put more time and spend time on it, I think I would have gotten more out of it. I promise you guys. Like here, I'll show you guys. Like there's like probably the first chapter is what I got to, and then nothing. Like I did not get through this book at all. So yeah, I mean, I'm throwing it out there just because I know it is helpful. It's by ATI, and I feel like ATI was the thing that got me the most ready for Nclex. Another thing that I use, but again, I don't want to make you guys buy it because I did not use it myself, and this is UWorld. UWorld, if you're in nursing school, I'm pretty sure you've heard classmates, you've heard teachers, you've heard YouTube, you've heard everybody tell you that UWorld is the thing to use for Nclex. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys. This is UWorld. There is 1,696 questions that I did not see. And there is a total of 2,193. So technically, I only saw about 500 questions. The one thing I can say that UWorld helped me with was the setup. So UWorld is literally set up the same as Nclex. So if you want to get an idea of how Nclex looks, like the exam format is literally the same thing. So like I said, I got to do about 500 questions out of the 2,000 and something questions. But in those 500 questions, I feel like I got a good feel of how the exam setup was going to be. So once I sat down for Nclex and I saw how Nclex was, I felt some sort of comfort just because I was familiar with how the setup was. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it was kind of like I was just doing practice questions in UWorld, because I promise you is literally the same color, same setup, same everything. So I think that's the only way UWorld helped me. The same thing that I will say about the Nclex book, I feel like if I would have put more effort and more time into it, then I would have gotten more out of it. Let me collect all my thoughts. So I found out that I passed my exit exam for nursing school August 13th. And we did not get approved to sit down for Nclex the following week, which was probably, hold on, let me see. So yeah, we took our exam August 13th. We found out the same day if we passed or didn't. I passed, and then we did not get approved to sit down for Nclex until Tuesday the 17th or Wednesday the 18th. So like 5 days later, we got approved by either our school or the state, I'm not sure. Literally, as soon as we got the message, like, you guys can sit down for Nclex, you guys can set up your appointments. I had friends that, okay, so we found out, let's say the Wednesday, right? I had a friend that took her Nclex that Friday, and then another one took it that Saturday. They both passed. I scheduled mine for the following week, which was the 24th, I think. But I chickened out. I was like, oh my god, like, I feel like I haven't done any studying for Nclex. I feel like I haven't even gotten through UWorld. And if you know anything about UWorld's pretty expensive, and I think I paid like $200 for UWorld. And I felt like I did not spend all this money and I haven't even done any questions. Like, how am I gonna sit for Nclex like in a week and I haven't even studied? So I ended up moving my date to September 3rd. Now, when I moved it, I was like, okay, I have 2 weeks to study. Guys, I promise you, I did not study. Like, I did not study. I could not get myself to study. I feel like I put all my effort, I put everything that I had in my last class of nursing school, which was capstone. I studied my ass off. I review, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just reviewing and writing things down and doing practice questions, and like literally nonstop. That once I was out of nursing school and I felt like, man, I did all that studying and now I have to study more. Like, I just couldn't do it. I will sit down and literally do like 20 questions from UWorld, and I would just get distracted. Like, I could not get through it. And I also felt like when I would sit down and look at my notes, like everything that I had written on this notebook, or when I would do UWorld, or when I would even look at this book, I felt like I knew it. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, I knew everything, I was so comfortable. Obviously, there were some things that I'm like, oh, I can do some more studying. But at the same time, I was like, I know this. It just felt like I was studying just to study. Then I regretted that I had moved my time or my appointment, because I was like, I wish I could just get it over with. But when I tried rescheduling my appointment to take it a week before, everything was taken. You know, with COVID, I feel like the regulations were a lot different, and so they were not taking as many students, so the appointments were very limited. I had to wait a whole week to take my exam. And you're probably watching this video so annoyed because you're like, then why am I watching this video? Okay, so I guess I'm just making this video to tell you guys, study, give everything you got in your last session of nursing school. I mean, study your ass off. Take those exams, take those reviews, take every single thing your teacher, if you have a coach, if you have, you know, whoever is your mentor, take it very serious and study your ass off. Don't take it for granted. Don't feel like, oh, I'll study after I'm done with nursing school. Like, no, you're in nursing school. Take the time to study for Nclex, so once you're done with nursing school, you can literally schedule your Nclex appointment and take it right away. I'm so grateful because I actually took my Nclex September 3rd. I found out I passed within like 3-4 days, and then I had my graduation September 9th. So when I crossed the stage, they announced me as Carla Holloway, RN, BSN.
Carla Holloway Aguayo.
So that was really cool. You know, a lot of people waited after graduation to study and take the Nclex, but I just feel like for me, taking Nclex before my graduation was the best thing that I could have done, because graduation felt like closure to me. It felt like, okay, this chapter is done and I was able to close it, and I could not imagine myself having my graduation and my pinning ceremony and then having to study for Nclex. Like, that just doesn't sound right to me. And I'm not judging. Obviously, if you don't feel ready, take all the time you need. Taking Nclex is very expensive, and I will hate for anybody to take it if they're not ready. Guys, like, just put everything you got. Like, the last session of nursing school, actually try to study all year around. Like, take nursing school serious, you know, take nursing school very serious. But when it comes to your last 2 sessions, which is collab and capstone, I'm telling you guys, take that like it is the last thing you are gonna do in life. I would really recommend for you guys to get a notebook where you write everything, every little thing that is in the gray area, things that you're like not 100% sure. Write it all down and memorize that notebook. So yeah, I guess take nursing school serious. Like, take it serious so you don't have to study after nursing school. I actually have a lot of friends that feel the same way. All the girls that I hung out with, they all passed, and we all took it within 2 to 3 weeks, and we all wish we would have took it pretty much that week that we got approved to take the Nclex. I don't see the point of studying for Nclex after you finish nursing school. Like, I feel like if you have to study after you finish nursing school, then you didn't put in as much effort, or maybe your school didn't give you the proper structure to learn. Because like I said, I feel like my school prepared me 1000%. I promise you, I could have taken Nclex that same day I took my exit exam from nursing school, and I'm pretty sure I would have passed. By the way, I passed my exam with 75 questions, and to be honest, when I was taking my Nclex and I was in question 74, I was like, please turn off, because I don't know if you're aware, but when you're taking the Nclex, the computer shuts down, and it's because you either pass or because you were doing really bad. And once I click next after the 75th question, my computer shut down, and I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted, but is it good or bad? But yeah, I ended up passing, and it was the greatest feeling in the world. So for those of you that are gonna sit for Nclex this coming up December, because I know a lot of you guys are graduating in December, so you will be sitting for the Nclex in January, all I can say is go for it, take it. You're never gonna feel 100% ready. You know, like I said, there's so many things in the gray area that you're like, do I know it, do I not know it? But once you're sitting there and you're looking at the question, everything just comes to you. And if you really put in the effort and the work during the nursing program, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. And like I said, you're never gonna feel ready. I feel like even after, you know, the day that I was gonna sit down to take my Nclex, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. Should I cancel? I was so nervous, but it's normal. It's one of the biggest days of your life. This is when you're gonna get your license. This is like a huge deal, so it's very normal to not feel ready. It's really normal to feel super nervous. I was actually super emotional before I walked in, especially because before I walked in, my dad sent me a beautiful message just reminding me that I'm a smart person, that I worked my ass off for this, and that I had it. I remember getting like super teary-eyed, and then the lady calling me like, Carla, are you ready? And I was like, you got this. So yeah, it was really nice. And then when I walked out, I just sat in my car for like 20 minutes just like staring into the wall, like that just happened. It was crazy, guys. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope you guys passed your first time, and I hope you guys get 75 questions too, because it's the best feeling ever when the computer turns off and you're like, I think I got it. All right, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please let me know down in the comments down below what you guys want to see next, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.